Let's get started. So the name of today's lesson, is the Sodomite agenda and legitimizing propaganda. The Sodomite agenda and legitimizing propaganda. So first, let's get First Timothy 4:16. 1 Timothy 4:16, dude.
1 Timothy 4, verse 16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them. For in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
So you're going to, by continuing in good doctrine, you're going to both save yourself. You're going to save yourself and save the folk that hear you by continuing in good doctrine. This agenda spreads ideas. It forces false information or rumor for the purpose of helping prop up an institution built on lies and blasphemies. It uses these ideas these facts as allegations to spread deliberately and to further one's cause to damage the public. That's what the propaganda is used for. It is also used to cause direct conflict or the desired effect that will utterly and completely cause the rebellion against the Most High Yah. And it rejects what is called good and what is called right. So we reject homosexuality. We reject lesbianism. We reject transgenderism. We reject non-binary and all similar activity as sin. And it is biblically unacceptable. So first, let's get the law. Leviticus, the 20th chapter and the 13th verse.
Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Their blood shall be upon them. No one else is going to be punished for their sin. Their blood shall be upon them. This is the physical act. This is the punishment for the physical act. But there is a physical act and there is a spiritual act or mental attitude that leads to that physical act. Let's get Romans, the first chapter, and start at the 25th verse. 25 and 27. You have the law, it speaks about the physical act, and you're going to get put to death. You're going to get to put to death. Let's go to Romans.
Book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of Yah into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. So let it be done. For this
verse
cause,
26 and 27. Come on.
For this cause, Yah gave them up unto vile affection. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
But to that which is against nature, because this is now in their mind. The natural use of a woman is to be with a man, but not these basketball short wearing women nowadays. They gave up the natural use of themselves to lie with another woman. Read on.
And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another. Men with men, working which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which is meat.
Which is good. That word meat is a old English word that means good. working with themselves the recompense, meaning the penalty, the same penalty as Leviticus, the 20th chapter, death. So today what we want to do is we want to free ourselves of blood guiltiness. All those that might hear this message under the sound of our voice, we want to free ourselves of blood guiltiness. We don't want to be guilty of not warning you. We don't want to be guilty of not warning you of the danger behind your action. Let's get Ezekiel 3:19. Ezekiel 3:19. Because we're going to both save ourselves and all that hear this word. We're going to save us and them. Prayerfully save them.
Ezekiel 3:19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, for thou hast delivered thy soul.
But I delivered my own soul. I delivered my soul because I'm warning you to come out of your homosexual activity. I'm warning you to come out of your filthiness and of lust of the flesh. I'm warning you. I'm telling you, I'm delivering my soul right now. So when you tell somebody, they call it homophobia. When you tell them, you tell someone, stop being gay, they say, you being homophobic. No, I'm delivering my soul. I'm trying to save myself and you because the Most High is telling me I got to tell you, stop being gay. Your mouth ain't made for licking on women, woman. Get your head out of her lap. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's not what you're supposed to be thinking about. Come out of your sin. You can't hardly watch TV or listen to music or anything today. Anytime I get set on watching something, I say, I can't watch this. They're doing some everything in there. It's freaky deaky time. Everybody on top of each other. Everybody kissing, and it don't matter what sex you are, you're just doing whatever you want to do. Insanity. It's insane. All right. America, family, has come in the same spirit. America has come in the same state of mind as Sodom. And she convinces her neighbors. I want you to understand the statement. She's in lead. And she convinces her neighbors to move closer and closer to the Sodom agenda by way of her propaganda. So you see, when America shows up, it's the big dog. When America shows up, it's going to tell you what to do. That's right. When America shows up, she tells you what to do because she's the one that has the power. She got the muscle. You see. Hold on a second. I'm trying to share my screen with you. Give me a second and I will share my screen. There it is. Can I be heard?
Okay.
All right, all praises. Ghana's president softens country stance on draconian anti-LGBTQ bill as Kamala Harris visits. Why all of a sudden is Ghana with their stance, all of a sudden, now they're not as strong on it as it was? We're going to find out. because America is spiritually Sodom. And Sodom, you know that there was 5 cities that the Most High was angry with, and 4 of them was destroyed. And the last one was showed a bit of mercy because of Lot. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. But Sodom, you never hear about those other cities. Sodom and Gomorrah, because Sodom led those other cities into the rebellion against the Most High Yah. Let's read the article. Let's see what happened here. Some of the article. Ghana's president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has said that substantial elements of the draconian anti-LGBTQ bill being considered by its parliament have been modified after an intervention by his government. Akufo-Addo made the disclosure Monday at a joint press conference with the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, who's on tour of the West African country. Now, why is this woman on tour? Why is she on tour with this West African country? She's making her rounds. We're going to see. He pointed out that the proposed legislation framed in the guise of family values, which seek to introduce some of the harshest anti-LGBTQ laws on the African continent. Everyone mute yourself, please. Mute yourself, please. Was, let's see, of the harshest anti-LGBTQ laws on the African continent was not legislation introduced by the government, but the private members bill. The bill was first introduced, watch this, in Parliament as August 2021. So he was lying. His government did introduce the bill. The bill is going through the Parliament. The Attorney General has found it necessary to speak to the committee, the Constitution and the Legal Committee of Parliament, but regarding the Constitution of several of its provisions. The Parliament is dealing with it. At the end of the process, I will come in. The Ghanaian leader said, all right, that's enough of that. Come out of that. We come out of that. Check this out. I'm telling you, we got to go. I got to walk you through it today. I have to walk you through this. Let's go to the news conference. The video of the news conference. Let me show you. Let's see. Here we go.
Thank you both for taking the time. Zolan Kano Youngs from the New York Times. Madam Vice President, this trip is centered on a collaborative future. At the same time, the Biden administration committed to calling out any foreign government that advanced anti-gay legislation, violates human rights. All three of the countries that you are visiting on this trip had advanced or proposed anti-gay legislation. Has a bill that would imprison those that engage in same-sex intercourse. Gay sex remains a crime in Tanzania. Same-sex relationships are outlawed in Zambia. What have you said to the president and plan to say to other leaders on this trip about the crackdown on human rights? The president as well, you talked about the proliferation of terrorist groups across the region.
I'm sorry, it's breaking up.
On the Western African coast. What does the presence of the Wagner Group say about past U.S. support when it comes to security? What more do you need from the United States to combat this threat? And also, can you confirm that our presence currently in Ghana? Thank you.
I'll start. I have raised this issue, and let me be clear about where we stand. First of all, for the American press who are here, you know that a great deal of work in my career has been to address rights issues, equality across the board, including as it relates to the LGBT community. And I feel very strongly about the importance of supporting the freedom, supporting and fighting for equality among all people, and that all people be treated equally. I will also say that this is an issue that we consider, and I consider, to be a human rights issue, and that will not change.
Yes. What's
Young, the New York.
so then?
Oh, okay, family. I paused it for a minute because I wanted you. I paused it for a minute because I wanted us to get something clear. I know it was breaking up a bit. It's breaking up a whole lot, but I want you to understand something. The reporter was asking about the bill that was being brought up and put forth in Ghana's parliament. Kamala Harris showed up, and she is now stating that, hey, listen, this is a humanitarian issue, so we're going to hold our funding. Do anybody understand what I'm saying? Everybody hear me, right?
I hear you.
Okay, everybody. She's saying we're going to hold our funding back. We can no longer financially support you, Ghana, unless you let this bill go through. This is the big dog telling the little dog what to do. You're going to do what we say, or you're not going to get our money. Under the guidelines of this is a humanitarian issue. Let's go back to see what he said. Let's try to see if we can hear it a little bit more clear.
So first of all, we don't have any such legislation here in Ghana. A bill has been proposed to the Parliament of Ghana, which has all kinds of ramifications, which is now being considered by the Parliament. It hasn't been passed, so the statement that there is legislation in Ghana to that effect is not accurate. No the bill is going through the Parliament. It's going through the Parliament. The Temple has found it necessary to start it regarding the constitutionality, otherwise of its president. The Parliament is dealing with it. At the end of the process, I will come in. But in the meantime, the Parliament is dealing with it. And I have no doubt that the Parliament of Ghana will show, as it's done in the past, first of all, its sensitivity to human rights issues, as well as to the feelings of our population, and will come out with a responsible response to the proposed. The legislation was a legislation that is being provided as a private member's bill. This is not an official legislation of the government, but it is one that has been mooted by a handful of private members. So we will see what the final outcome. But my understanding from the recent discussion of the committee, the substantial elements of the bill have already been modified as a result of the intervention of the Attorney General. We will see what the final outcome will be, and that is.
So, brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, he's lying. We just read in the other report that the bill was put forth in 2021 by his government. But when Kamala Harris shows up, he said, no, it's a private member's bill. It's not even real legislation. I want y'all to see what's going on. I'm trying to show you here what's going on. America is spiritually called Sodom, and it has an agenda. It has an agenda. Let's go to the speakers of the House, the Speaker of the House of Ghana. After that interview with Kamala Harris and the Ghanaian president, watch this. This is the only video I can show on it, so I'm just need to pull it up. It's the only one I could find.
I mean, these things should not be tolerated. That is undemocratic. What is democracy? That somebody else will have to dictate to me as to what is good and what is bad? Unheard of. Because we decided to devalue ourselves.
He says, how dare America come in and dictate to me what is good and what's bad? And I have to devalue myself. I don't know if you all can hear it. That's why I'm repeating it.
And go a begging. Come on. We have more than enough. God has created more than enough for every person. It's just because you are looking at someone else's share, not yours. We have enough in the world. The bill will be passed. This is the word.
He said the bill is going to pass. He said, we got enough in the world. We don't need their money. The bill is going to pass. This is the Speaker of the House. Now, America is causing friction within this government. America is causing friction within this government. Yeah, I'll explain what he said. He's saying, like we just said, or we just talked about, Kamala Harris says this is a humanitarian issue, and they can't see how they're going to give Ghana any money, any in humanitarian aid, where Ghana gets a lot of their money from America. How they going to get any humanitarian aid if they do not pass this bill to allow gay rights within the country of Ghana? Now, this is the Speaker of the House. He's rebuking the Ghanaian president. He says, we got enough. We don't need their money. And how dare you say that you're a leader of democracy when you come here as undemocratic to come tell us what we need to do in our own country? So I hope that's clear to you, brother. That's what's going on right here. That's what's going on right here. So the Messiah himself used as an example how to demonstrate how Sodom will be, or how spiritual Sodom, or those that are in leadership position in the last days will be at a similar destruction, and how similar destruction will happen upon his return. And it will denote that the same sins will be occurring. The same sins of Sodom and Gomorrah will be occurring in the last days. Those same prevalent sins of Sodom and Gomorrah will be occurring at will, almost at like first nature. And most people in the world will be doing this, the sins of Sodom at the time of the return of the Messiah. So there will be, one, rapid homosexuality, and two, rapid rebellion. Let's get Luke 17. Luke 17. The same sins that will be going on that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah will be very prevalent and happening in these last days. Luke 17, 28 through 30.
Right. Book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 28. Likewise, also, it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Even thus, it's going to be the same way when the Son of Man is revealed. Read on. Is that it?
Yeah, that was 30.
Yeah, that was 30. Okay. It's going to be the same way when the Son of Man is revealed. They're going to be eating and drinking and buying and selling and planning and building. They're going to be doing the same thing Sodom was doing. There's going to be a plethora of sinful lust and filthiness of the flesh going on. Same thing. It'll be a lot of sodomites, a lot of sodomy going on at the time of the destruction. And this sin, like we read in Leviticus, this sin or this abomination is rebellion. And rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. So Sodom, Gomorrah, Adamah, Zeboim, Zorah. The leader was Sodom. The leader was Sodom. These were the 5 cities that were slated for destruction by Yah. Although he spared Zorah at the end, he spared Zorah and left it a place of refuge for Lot. Let's read that. Let's read that history in Genesis. Genesis 19, verses 18 through 25.
You say 19, 18 through 25?
Yeah, Genesis 19th chapter, 18th verse to the 25th verse.
This is 19, 18 through 25. Mm-hmm. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my master. Behold, now thy servants have found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape there. Is this
So
not a little one?
It was the least of the 5 cities. It was the least of the 5 cities. Sodom was the head city. So that's why you never hear of these other cities. You always say Sodom and Gomorrah. Because Sodom and Gomorrah, they was the head cities. This was the least of the city. But it was in sin too. It was in sin too. Read on.
Let me escape thither, and my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city.
So it was given a measure of mercy. Come on.
For the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape there, for I cannot do anything till thou become there. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zor.
So many people believe that Sodom was one day. It happened in one day. Boom! The Most High destroyed Sodom in one day, but it was a continual destruction. That's why he said, I can't. He started at Sodom. Lot was on the run. He said, I ain't got nowhere to go. You're destroying every place around me. He said, go to Zorah. Go there. I'll spare that one. Go hide out there while I continue to destroy this place. So it wasn't just like it was one day and it was destroyed. The Most High continued to destroy these places. It was a continuation of destruction. I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't one day. Read on.
The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zorah.
You see that? And when he entered into Zorah, the sun was risen upon the earth. It was morning. Come on.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah, brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven.
Come on, watch this.
And he overthrew those cities and all
and
the
he did what?
And he overthrew those cities.
He overthrew those cities, plural. Come on.
And all the plain.
And all the
inhabitants of the cities.
In all the city, he killed all the people. Come on.
And that which grew upon the ground.
And he wouldn't let vegetation grow there either. The Most High came through and destroyed all of the minerals. He destroyed all of the people. He destroyed all of the cities. He destroyed it. He wiped everything out.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, that sounds like nuclear. That sounds like nuclear warfare too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You can't even grow nothing back if you wanted to.
You can't even grow nothing back if you wanted to. Nothing grows there to this day. Can't even. He took the minerals out the earth. Nothing was going to live here anymore. This is how wicked Sodom and Gomorrah was getting into. This is the kind of wickedness and rebellion that they were getting into. That even the soil was corrupted. Nothing can grow there. There was no life there anymore. So, brothers and sisters, many people think that the evil and wickedness of Sodom was just the fact of homosexuality or homosexual acts. That wasn't just the only thing that was going on there. We're going to talk about everything that was going on in Sodom. Everything, including the homosexuality and the wicked, lustful behavior. Let's go to Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel. Let's find out the sin of Sodom. What was it? What was the sin of Sodom? Ezekiel 16. We're going to start at verses 49 and 50. This is the sin, brothers and sisters. This is the sin of Sodom that's not rarely talked about.
Ezekiel 16 and 49.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of
Pride
bread.
was one.
And
Fullness of bread was the other. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and let you read it, then I'm going to break it down. Let's go over it again.
All right. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. And when they were haughty and committed abominations before me, therefore I took them away as I saw good.
As I saw good. Okay, let's break this down. Verse 49 says, behold, there was the iniquity. This is the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride. This type of pride here, you know, they have Gay Pride Day about 3 times a year, don't they? Whenever they had, I see it all the time on the news. This was Sodom's iniquity. It was pride. It's not the kind of pride where you're proud of your husband, or you're proud of your wife, or you're proud of your children, or even proud of your assembly or something like that. That's not the pride that's being talked about here. The pride that's being talked about here is an inordinate self-esteem. It's an unreasonable conceit of one's own superiority. This is why the Most High have a problem with this particular pride, because this pride says, I'm not doing nothing you say. I don't need you. As a matter of fact, I think I'm above you, because whatever you've done for me, God, I know better. I can do that much more better for myself. This is the pride that the Most High hates. That inordinate self-esteem. Don't talk to me, God. I don't need you to talk to me. I know what to do.
Yeah, well, they got a whole month of it now.
Oh, is that what's going on now?
It's a whole month. I think it was June, I think. But yeah, the whole month.
Oh, okay. It starts in June. A whole Pride month.
Yep.
Unreasonable conceit of one's own superiority. A month long of madness. Secondly, fullness of bread is greed. They had a lot of pride in these 5 cities. They had a lot of greed, just like America, in these 5 cities. They had an abundance of idleness. The abundance of idleness goes into a state of inaction to seek the truth. You see something, and you just roll with it. There's a bunch of TV shows with same-sex hookups on these TV shows. You just roll with it. You good with it. It's all good. It sets good. It sets well in your spirit. You set your children down in front of it. They can watch it. It's all good. It's all good. This is idleness, abundance of inaction in seeking the truth. And her daughters, neither did they strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. They don't give a damn about the poor. You're starting to see who this is right here. You see starting to see who this act like, who this Bible is talking about, who acts like Sodom today. Verse 50. And they were haughty, meaning they were over arrogant. They were over arrogant and committed abomination. Committed abomination goes into the physical acts we was talking about in Leviticus. They committed abomination, abominable acts of sin, lewd acts of sin. It's all good. I don't know why people try to act like it ain't what it is. You know, if that person is homosexual, you know what kind of sex they having. I don't know why you trying to act like it's normal. You know them two nasty people are backdooring each other. You know this. You know what's going on. You know them two females are doing stuff that they are not doing, or they kissing stuff that they shouldn't be kissing on each other. When they act like this is normal behavior, it's not. Does not be over, but that's the propaganda. The propaganda is to try to teach you that what you think is wrong. And most assuredly, they're going to teach your children. We're going to get into that. They sure are going to force this on your children. We as Israelites, what are we going to do about it? We're going to sit back and take this? Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to do something. Let's get Revelations real quick. Matter of fact, hold that. Let's go back and get let's see. Hold on. Let's get Ezekiel 16 and 50 one more time. I think I missed something in there.
Verse 50.
Yeah.
And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good.
And he took them away as he saw good. This happened before. This never changed. Esau has always led up to this type of behavior. Let's get Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel 3 and 3 real quick. Because this is something that a lot of brothers don't want to talk about. We don't want to discuss in Israel. We don't want to discuss this.
Joel 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
That they might drink. They sold given a boy for harlot, and they sold a girl for wine. This is something that is not really talked about. This is something that's not really talked about. How they used to call it buck breaking in slavery. But not only that, the men would actually, instead of taking the women and having sex with them, they would rape the boys. It's not really talked about. In secular circles, it's not talked about. In Israelite circles, it's not talked about, because it's hard to imagine that's what this devil wanted. He desired the boys over the girls. He said, get rid of that girl. I can get her, give me a barrel of alcohol for her. But the boy, I'm gonna use him, I'm gonna pass him around like a harlot. abominable acts of sex, an abomination before the Most High. Don't think they're not like that today. Oh, don't think they're not like that today, because they're trying to indoctrinate your babies. Let's get Revelation 11 and 18. Watch what you think the Catholic Church is about. They always got some little boy underneath their skirt. Let's get Revelations 11 and 8.
The book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great Egypt, of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified.
Our master was crucified here is because they made us serve a white Jesus. They put a white Jesus in front of us, made us serve a white Jesus, put us in bondage, which is spiritually Egypt, and changed used a boy for a harlot, which is the mindset of Sodom. The attitude, the behavior, and the deeds, brothers and sisters, are the same. These are the identifying factors and as to who Sodom is, who spiritually Sodom is today. These are our identifying markers. Now, this new Christianity, it promotes this agenda as well. They don't denounce the agenda, they promote it and push the Sodomite propaganda further into the earth. The church is running with anything goes and will in no means reveal the great evil that is destroying our people. The Messiah said this would be happening as well. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. I want to pull up a video. This is some of the things that's being said. It's an old video, but it's more prevalent now than it was when it first came out.
How would you explain God to a non-believer?
I would explain God as the creator, a heavenly father, of someone that wants to be in relationship with you, just as somebody that's for you, as a friend.
Okay, so here's the big question. Are there many paths to get to the one God?
Well, I believe that Jesus is the way to the one God, but I believe there are many paths to Jesus. You know, you don't know how Jesus would reveal himself to somebody. So I'm not into excluding people. Jesus can reveal himself to anybody.
Does that mean that all people, all races, obviously in your church, we see all people, all races. I can't imagine that you would have 16,000 people in there and none of them would be gay. So are gay people also included?
Absolutely. Anybody is. You know,
He said
Oprah,
absolutely.
we sometimes maybe the Christian community makes a bigger deal out of being gay, but
will a gay person be accepted into heaven as you see it?
Well, I believe they will, because I believe that, you know, you have to have forgiveness for your sins, but, you know, sometimes we look at gay being...
Brothers and sisters, did y'all hear that?
I heard it. Same garments for too long.
He said, absolutely. She said, do you think a gay person will make it to heaven? I believe that they will. This is what they promote. They don't promote the Bible. They promote the gay agenda. That's what they promote. 16,000 people in this Edomite's church. Hold on. I got another one. Let me share another video. That was the Edomite church. Maybe the black church don't think that way. Just maybe the black church doesn't think that way. Let's see. Let's see, brothers and sisters.
A question coming in from in our digital said, do you think, I'm assuming, LGBT community and the black church can coexist? Let me push that question, because that's sort of an obvious yes. Church ain't turning nobody away. How should the black church and LGBT community exist?
I think it's going to be diverse from church to church. Every different opinion on the issue.
He
and
said absolutely too.
And I think that the black church or white church or any kind of church you want to call it, all the same is totally not true. And all gay people are not the same. The types of relationships that are afforded are based on the types of people in each individual case. LGBT have to find a household award that reflects what your views are and what you believe, like anybody else. The church should have the right to have its own conviction. If you don't like those conviction values, you totally disagree with it, don't try to change my house, move into your own. And that sort of thing. Find somebody.
I know that it's breaking up. I know it, but brothers and sisters, did y'all hear what this man said? Somebody answer me. Somebody talk back to me.
I heard him.
I heard him.
Yeah, we heard it.
Oh, praises. Listen, I don't even know how he could possibly have a church still in existence when the Bible says it is an abomination. When the Bible says this is not what's supposed to be transpiring, but Jakes get on there and he lullabies you. He lullabies the people. Say, if you don't want it to be in your church, then maybe perhaps you can find some church you want it to be at, because hey, it is very, very different now. And you, it's amazing. It's amazing. If you notice, neither one of these guys came out the Bible with any scripture at all.
Somebody who gets what you get about faith. And trust me, I've talked to enough LGBT, they are not all the same.
Oh, for sure. When all Christians are the same.
No.
But how do we, first of all, has your thinking evolved on this?
Evolved and evolving. Evolved and evolving.
Where were you and where are you?
I think that where I am is to better understand, the church bought into the myth that this was a Christian nation. And once you get past that, which a lot of people are going to criticize me because they're still going to think it's a Christian nation, which is a whole different show. But once you begin to understand that democracy and that a republic actually is designed to be an overarching system, protect our unique nuances, then we no longer look for public policy to reflect biblical ethics. If we can divide, or what you would call separation of church and state, then we can dwell together more effectively. Because agnostics, Jews, all the people, Muslims pay into the government then cannot.
I couldn't take him no more. I could not take his mouth any longer. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So, brothers and sisters, in every facet of our lives, they are trying to infiltrate every facet of our lives. Every facet of our lives, whether it is your belief system, your faith, your morality, it doesn't matter. They're trying to infiltrate those because they are building blocks of our society. Those systems that we live by every day, that we educate ourselves in every day. Those are systems that are being challenged. They say that the Bible is a relic. You don't have to believe in it any longer. But you need to update yourself. You need to update yourself because the Bible is very advanced. The Bible knows what's coming down the pipe. The Bible understands the nature of people and the wicked nature of man. Let's go to Proverbs 21. The heart is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Yah knows it. Yah knows it. Proverbs 21.
21 and
2. Start at verse 2 through 4.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Most High pondereth the heart.
The Most High pondereth the hearts. He understands what's going on in your heart. Come on.
To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Most High than sacrifice.
To do justice and judgment is more acceptable than to do sacrifice. Come on.
And high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin.
Is sin. A high look, a proud heart, and a plowing of the wicked is sin. Sin. This is what Jakes does. This is that high look that he had. This is what that Edomite, that other Edomite preacher has. This is it. This is it. All right. All right, let's see here. Let's move on to the educational aspect of this propaganda. Let's get Revelations real quick. Revelation 16:13. Because I want to go to 3 different facets for a reason, and this is the reason why. I didn't get to the entertainment portion of it, but we did talk about the political portion. We did talk about the religious portion, and now we're talking about the educational portion. Revelation 16:13.
Revelation 16:13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast.
Come on.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet.
Out of the mouth of the dragon is policy and or his media. Out of the mouth of the dragon is his policy and or his media. Out of the mouth of the dragon is his policy and or his media. Out of the mouth of the beast is his democracy. Just like Kamala Harris went over to Ghana, and she's going over to Libya, and it's another one. It's another one. I can't think of the country that she's going to, but there's 3 specifically that she was going to with her policy being pushed into the earth, her democracy being pushed through the earth. Hey, if you don't do what we say, then you don't get any help from us. Change your stance on homosexuality and same-sex marriage, or we'll stop your funding, we'll cut off your funding, we'll suffocate you. So by the mouth of the dragon is their policy and or the media. By the mouth of the beast is their democracy being pushed in the earth. And number 3, by the mouth of their false prophet, which is Christianity, seducing spirits. Seducing spirits. Because some jokers talk good. Jakes talk good, don't he? Absolutely. 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 Oh my God, absolutely. I have no problem with this. It's plenty of switches at my church. Plenty of switches at my church. Plenty. Help today. Help today. All right. Okay, let's see. I wanted to read an article from Education Weekly. You can find this. I'm gonna read it real quick. I won't share it with you, but I will read it with you because I want to share my next video. This is from Education Weekly. A raft of the legislation in the State House taking aim at LGBTQ students this year draws from a nearly accident course about parents' rights, curriculum transparency in schools, purportedly indoctrinating students via critical race theory and other ideas. But what is driving it? To get a better sense of the rapidly evolving political landscape and occupying rhetoric, Education Weekly spoke to the political scientists, historians, LGBTQ advocates, legal scholars, and lawmakers themselves. The picture that emerges is complex. Old fears about gay people are being combined with new concerns and new developed political tools. Parents are largely divided about instructional issues on LGBTQ matters, and the political rhetoric has gone far more intense, leaving some watch this, gaping at its frankness because the bill is no longer hiding what they want to do, brothers and sisters. The bills are not, like, what is they trying to say? No, it's very plain what they want to do. The way it used to be written when they ran bills almost 10 years ago. I guess what was that was that schools shall not promote any other sexuality other than heterosexuality. There was a little bit of indirectness about the language. This is just hitting you in the face, said Chris Sanders, the executive director of Tennessee Equality Project, a gay rights group pointing to a bill in that state that would prohibit materials that promote, normalize, support, and address LGBTQ issues. That signaled to me that we move beyond the phase of subtlety altogether, meaning they out of that phase. They're not just going to be trying to play around with this stuff. You're going to tell your children. They're going to be right in your kids' face. They're going to tell them this is what you should be doing. This is the homosexual activity that you should be doing. This propaganda is in the laws, it's in their writings, it's in the faith by way of Christianity and other religious outlets. It is also promoted in educational programs, institutions, and in the school buildings. Brothers and sisters, let me share the screen with you. This is, listen, it's bad. It's very, very bad.
And now to our NewsHour shares. Storybook hours often seek to entertain young children while inspiring a love of reading. But one organization is turning the tables on who's turning the pages. The NewsHour's Julia Griffin explains.
Too bad, said the stink bug. At the Adams Morgan Community Center in Washington, D.C. recently, parents and their tiny tots sat patiently, riveted by a storybook and its reader. He shuffled into Bear's room. Wake up, Bear, mumbled Mole. Spring is here. This is Drag Queen Story Hour. It's your classic children's reading program with a twist. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen. Everybody wave to each other, make a friend next to you, okay? Author Michelle T. first created Drag Queen Story Hour in San Francisco in 2015. Its goal: lessons on diversity, self-love, and appreciation of others. Everyone is different, and everyone is not bad, said Scooter, who is a turtle. Different is special. Today, readings take place at libraries, museums, and other cultural centers in more than 30 cities across the country. Some are small affairs, but many, like the one in Washington, D.C., play to full houses.
I just love drag queens in general. It's a great opportunity to combine having a little one and enjoying like the performance of drag.
I think it's important that we see different people. That mom and dad look different from other people, and people love you and have stories for you, and we can learn from everybody.
Dawn Purcell is a children's librarian with DC Public Library.
It's just really been obvious that there was a need for this in our community.
The library partnered with the DC chapter of Drag Queen Story Hour to bring the family-friendly events to the nation's capital.
We talk a lot in children's literature about stories being both windows and mirrors. So Drag Queen Story Hour can be doing both. There may be a kid here who is seeing themselves reflected in a queen and seeing a possibility for what their lives could be. And then if not, there's a child that's seeing how someone else lives.
Let's try this with nails. Ooh, one down. Domingo, who goes by JJ Vera when not in drag, has been performing drag at local DC bars and theaters for more than 3 years. She first learned about the organization after other drag queen story hours faced pushback from community groups objecting to LGBTQ themes being presented to children. New York City's Drag Queen Story Hour head, Rachel Amy.
A lot of Drag Queen Story Hour chapters in other parts of the country have had serious backlash and people protesting their events and disrupting them, and in some cases even events have been canceled.
The New York City chapter now runs the whole organization's website and social media channels and sets guidelines for how to run Drag Story Hour events.
We do provide support and guidance to chapters who are facing that backlash.
In the Big Apple, Drag Queen Story Hours have become so popular that the chapter now offers events in Spanish and for children with autism and other special needs. The chapter also hosts drag queen fashion design and makeup workshops for older kids. The point, Amy said, is to create safe spaces for anyone interested in participating.
LGBTQ kids often don't see themselves reflected in the broader culture, so it can be life-changing and even life-saving to have that kind of affirming programming in libraries and schools.
And for Dominga, whether the kids understood what a drag queen is wasn't the point. Instead, she was glad everyone seemed to enjoy the show.
Drag queens are just here to entertain. We can read. We're intelligent. We are harmless, and I just hope that, moving forward, it kind of just like stretches those imaginations a little bit more to continue normalizing it and, give people a little bit more like fearlessness to take home with them.
Fearlessness with a dash of fun.
Goodbye for now until we meet again.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Julia Griffin in Washington.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said about normalizing?
Yeah, I did. But I'm gonna forget by the end of the lesson. Listen.
Go ahead.
He said that it doesn't matter whether the kids can understand whether he's a drag queen or not. That's not the point. So what are you reading to the kids for? So why are you teaching them what homosexuality is, and they can't even understand what a drag queen is? And literally, why does it have to be if they old enough, if they young enough for you to have to read a story to them, they can't comprehend what a drag queen or homosexuality is. How can they make a choice?
Indoctrination. Indoctrination. Let's get them ready. Let's get them prepared for this.
They don't understand.
Get them used to seeing it.
Yeah, because they may not understand the concept of it, but they understand
the visual.
That a man dressed like a woman ain't right.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking about their perspective. I know.
Yeah. Check this out. We got one more. We got one more video. Hold on. We got one more. This is the only one I could find out of this one too. So it's kind of all over the place, but it's the only video footage I could find of this one. Check it out.
Yeah, she called me and told me that she had an issue up here about my grandson being in a dress. I mean, I'm trying to see what the issue is about that.
Okay, you'll have to talk to Dara.
Who's there?
She's down in the other classroom.
Is she the one that was in charge of the kids while my grandson?
I was, but I can't talk to you.
Why?
Because you're not on the form, so we'll have to get Dara up here, and she will let you. I mean, talk to you about it.
I'm first of all, I'm coming down here because we don't do that the transgender and all that. We don't do that.
I understand. I don't either.
And I don't appreciate you encouraging him to put on no dress for the second day. I don't appreciate that. And don't think this is going further with this.
Okay, you can go down and talk.
No, I'm not done talking to you. I'm letting you know the next time that you put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay, you need to go talk to my director because I as a church.
No, I'm letting you know I got an issue with you about that. I'm not playing with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But you should have called me before you made the decision to put my grandson in a dress.
Okay, you can speak to the director.
No, I'm speaking to you.
Please do not talk to me in that tone with my children.
I wouldn't be up here if you wouldn't have put my grandson in no dress. Well, do what you got to do.
Up with Miss
No, I'm taking it up with you.
Please lower your voice. You're in a class with
I'm taking it up with you. Where you shouldn't have put my
these two.
Over with, all right?
Yeah, so this man goes up there because he found out that the teacher is putting his grandson putting a dress on him. He was eerily calm, which was probably, she should have been scared because I probably would have been irate up there. You know, he was kind of calm, you know what I'm saying? You know, she up there putting kids in dresses at the school. Insane. Let's get Isaiah 3 and 9. We're almost done. Let's get Isaiah 3 and 9. Can I be heard?
I hear you.
All right. Isaiah 3 and 9.
Isaiah 3 and 9. The show of their countenance doth witness, the show of their countenance doth witness against them. And they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves.
The show of their countenance doeth witness against them. The way you look testifies against you. Well, I know that this is the sin of Sodom with that drag. You a drag queen? Drag queen? This is the sin of Sodom on you. The way you look, the show of your countenance is a witness. Let me say this while I'm thinking about it. Some of you sisters, not none of our beautiful modest sisters in here, but the way the women out there today look, I don't know what I'm looking at. Y'all look like drag queens with all of this highfalutin makeup and arched up all the way up here, 3 different colors on your eyes, 3 different colors on your cheekbone, sliced and diced, a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle of glitter there. I don't know what I'm looking at. I gotta look real hard. Is that a man or is with them big old stupid eyelashes on, like fans on your eyelids? I don't know what I'm looking at. You done made the countenance of your face look like the sin of Sodom. Your face is testifying against you. The scripture says, woe or destruction to their soul. The reward is evil unto themselves. As I said in the beginning, brothers and sisters, our job is to warn the people. Our job is to gather the nation. Our job is to come together as a nation so we can come out from among them and be separated. Separate ourselves from them people. Last scripture. Give me Matthew 10. Last scripture.
Matthew 10 or what?
Matthew 10, 14 through 16.
Book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words when you depart out of their house or city, shake off the dust of your feet Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
If they don't want to hear us, Sodom and Gomorrah gonna look like a cakewalk compared to what's gonna happen. It's gonna look like a sunny day at the park compared to the judgment that's coming upon this land. Verse 16.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
We got to learn how to witness to these folk. We got to learn how to witness to these people. And if they don't hear you, shake the dust from your feet. And you delivering your soul from blood guiltiness. You got to have the moral fortitude. You got to have the capacity to deliver their soul and to deliver yours. And we're going to leave it right there. We're going to leave it right there. All praises to the Most High Yah. All praises.